So we finished doing all the welding on the rear frame section, and we've put everything back together, bolted it all down tight with some grade 8 bolts in all the spots. We've removed the steering components and the power steering pump all the way back to the steering, the rack and pinion, and disconnected it from the hind joints we're going to use for adjusting the rear end on both sides. We've mounted our rear seat in place, and everything is now nice and solid, and I think looking pretty good. So we'll be getting ready to start moving to finishing the rear section of the cage and finishing out figuring the strut tower attachment to the cage, and then we should be ready to get started with the electrical and mechanical connections between the front and rear, and giving everything a test run. So moving slowly right along toward completion. Pretty stoked on how it's coming out. It's much longer than it once was. I initially, on the beginning of this project, was only expecting to end up with a 2-seater again and having it be pretty short. But then my brother decided to drop a rear seat on me, and my kids decided to tell me how much they'd like to be able to ride in it as more than just one person at a time. So the little Jeep jump seat that my brother gave me is now fitted into the rear, and I gotta say, you know, honestly, it fits pretty darn good. I could have fit maybe a little wider seat in it, but you know, I think it fits for the situation pretty well. I think all in all, it came out to be pretty good looking so far. Well, hopefully take it all through to completion here in the next few months, maybe. Figuring things out slowly, one piece at a time, getting things to lock in and be stable. Should be a good time, I hope. It's been a fun project so far. I'm trying to figure out each little step. There's going to be a whole lot more to do. There's a lot of wiring to figure out, bringing from way back here all the way up to there. Wow. Stay tuned. So as it's become necessary that we move forward on working this thing, fiberglass needed to come off. So we took it off. Well, I should say I took it off. I work alone, so it's not really a we. I'm not royalty, at least not yet. Someday maybe everyone will figure out that I should be king. But use the old bike jacks and swung that sucker up out of the way. And then we could work in here and not have it be a problem for us. Get back into this thing. Got a lot to do. Long way to go. Long way to go. Gotta pull that back seat next. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll do the exhaust piece that I was thinking about first. Well, we'll get there. Anyhow, enjoy the show. Used our fabulous little Sawzall and hacked a chunk off the end here, the exhaust. Cut a section of it out down there. We got the flange tip off. Now we're going to get into the process of redoing the exhaust so that it comes up to where we want it to. So got other pieces of exhaust that we stole off the van. I'm getting ready to start fitting these together. So we have the 2 flanges here that we will be fitting so that we have an exhaust we can unbolt and take off. So our first gig here is going to be to weld that piece back on to the back end here, because we've shortened it and taken out a little bit of a bend that it used to have in it. This pipe used to hook up here and it kicked off to one side. Now we're going to fit it in like this and have it just be straight back. So that's what we're going for. Get through that and see what kind of a mess we can make. So here's the exhaust mocked up. Got our 2 flanges together with our pieces of tubing slid in. We'll be welding all that up. I'm gonna go ahead and tack it here first off. And we still got to figure out our back, because this is going to kick back here somehow, and then backwards, or a little more up and backwards, we'll see. But essentially it's going to kick in generally like that, tuck into the rear end. Well, there it is. We've done the initial stage of welding. Kind of dirty, yucky. Running a little low on shielding gas, so I'm going to have to clean that up a bit later, but I wanted to get it at least settled in place. We keep doing the mock-up. There's our exhaust. Our new flanges set together so they can be bolted up. I'm going to do that. Runs up to here. We got to figure out the little mount piece that's going to come here so we can have one of those rubber joints in between where it can bounce around a little bit. And then we got to figure out, I was talking about the tip coming out and coming back this way. I don't want it going straight up, and I don't want it coming into the passenger area. I want it to go back. There's the beginnings of it.